And we are live. Guys, welcome to another live show on PropsMadness. Huge 14 game slate in front of us, a ton of spots. Can't wait to see your guys' questions. What spots do you like and what spots do you need my opinion on? First, as in previous two live videos, I will go through a couple of interesting spots for me. In the meantime, I hope we get some questions in the chat so I can go through your guys' bets. Any questions about the app, about the tool are welcomed. So let's start. I can see that already a ton of people joined, so no need to wait anymore. And my first angle look will be first game on the slate, Wizards against the Hornets. Going to CJ McCollum 17.5, kind of moving away, but I bet it earlier, so I think this is a very interesting spot. Spread for this game only 5.5. Think we can expect normal minutes and close game, which is huge for CJ McCollum, because if you take a look, when they get blown out, he's averaging when they lose by 16 or more points, he's averaging 14 points a game. And then when they win, or when it's between losing by 15 or winning, he kind of averaged 22.7 points, so that's huge. Also looking at the minutes in this, when they lose by less than 15 and more and win, he is averaging 34 minutes a game. And when it's a huge loss by 16 or more, we can see that his minutes drop to 26.5, so that's huge. So looking at the filters, let's start first with the minutes. I think 25 should be the floor, and we can see that he played recent close games 39 minutes for CJ McCollum, so let's do up to 40. And now he's facing horrible defense, horrible against his dominant shooting zone, horrible against his dominant play type, horrible against pull-ups, so they are loving everything that he prefers to do. So let's look at the just below average defensive teams, and in that case we can see CJ McCollum averaging 23.2 points over in 10 out of 13 on this line. So that's the first one. Second one, we should go to huge slate, so I already did some research earlier, looking to guys like Bobby Portis. Why? Because if you take a look at the last two games, he got 39 minutes in two straight games. After playing some weird minutes, like we can see against the Nets, 16 minutes, against the Pistons, 20 minutes, and then last two games he started and played massive minutes. So we kind of expecting to play big minutes tonight as well. So if you take a look at the games without Giannis, and when he gets 26 plus minutes, he covered this in all 5 games. But let's look a bit further. Let's look entire Bucks career. When he gets 26 plus minutes without Giannis, he's averaging 32.6 points and rebounds. Huge numbers. And if you take a look at the roster, without Giannis, they don't have many big usage guys, so I think Portis is in a great spot. Matchup is kind of okay. He scores a ton of points in mid-range and at the rim. They are not great there. Without Giannis, he's much less of a catch-and-shoot guy than with him. They are horrible against pick and roll man. Below average against post-up, so plenty of good spots. And looking at head-to-head, without Giannis, when he gets 20 plus minutes against Indiana Pacers, he covered this in 4 out of 5, averaging 32 points and rebounds. If you remember last two years ago, playoffs, no Giannis, he played against Pacers and crushed those games. One that he didn't cover, that he hooked, he had 6 from 16 from the field. So another interesting one, and I'll go of another one because I can see a ton of people already joined, a ton of questions. Thank you guys for it. So before I'll just check one more spot, and that's Peyton Watson rebounds. Kind of Yeah, I bet this at minus 102. Now minus 140. Think the ship sailed on this one. Same thing, 4 points, rebounds, and assists. As we can see, why I bet this without Gordon and Brown. He got injured in this game. If you exclude that game, he killing this line. So this was my bet previously. So if he can find any playable points, rebounds, and assists at 16.5, that should be very interesting. So just looking at games without Gordon and Brown, 4 points, rebounds, and assists, and 4 rebounds as well. Looks great. He already had 5 against Dallas. So yeah, loving this one. So enough from my side. I am now starting to go through the chat, and we'll see what you guys have cooked. First one, big slate today. Hey guys, good luck tonight. Can you pick a random game, random player prop, and just show us the steps you take and filters you play with to determine if you should play an over, under, or stay away? Random play. I mean, every question that's asked in the chat is kind of random play, so I'll just go there. First one, Derek Queen. So this will be like a random spot. So how would I approach this? First off, looking at the expected minutes, 27 to 37. If we have 27 plus minutes, we can kind of see that looks like absolutely amazing spot for the over. This is a back-to-back game. Let's see how he performs in back-to-back games. Okay, last 2 had great. First 2, OKC. I kind of ignore anything anyone does against OKC because it's such a by far the best matchup in the league. So kind of ignoring that one. So when we look at this back-to-back, looking good. Poor shooting for him, but he faced great defenses, like Lakers the best against centers, Dallas one of the best overall. So and the one that was a great matchup for him, he cooked with 20 points. So back-to-back looks good. Save minutes in back-to-backs. So going back to this minutes, yeah, even like 25 should do, but 27 projected minutes here, averaging 18 points. Back-to-back game. Let's look at the Zion. Looking at these dots, we can see that Zion didn't play in any back-to-back game so far this season. So we're kind of expecting Zion to be out. So that's great for Derek Queen. So in this spot, I will like the over 13.5 for Derek Queen. Matchup, single players, 65% more points. They struggle against his way of scoring. Most of his points at the rim. Now Evan Mobley, so that definitely helps. So I will actually prefer Derek Queen over rather than under. Think under is definitely not the look I would look here. Mamu Kelashvili under. So Željko Draško is asking about 2 unders. Don't think he'll be happy with what I have to say on this. Austrian guy, center starting, Jacob out. In the games that he is out, we can see his minutes last 3 games were last 4, 27, 37, 36, 30. So huge minutes without Jacob. So when we look at the games, let's see projected minutes, expected minutes 21. I think it's 24 at least. So looking at the games when he got 24 or more minutes, averaging 15 points, cooked good teams like Bucks and Boston. We know that Lakers are the best defense against bigs, and he cooked them with 13 points on poor shooting. So 13, 12, and 13 shots in the last 3 games. That's huge volume, honestly. So 12.5. I would prefer over on this one as well. Think this look like a good spot for overs, especially against Miami. He played them couple of days ago, had 11 points in only 19 minutes because Jacob was in. Now he's out, so we could expect Sandro to even play up to 30 minutes in this one. So if he scored 11 points in 19 minutes, I am leaning over when he plays 30 plus minutes. So another one that where I don't like the under at all. Thanks in advance. Here to just have you do your thing, boss. Appreciate. Thank you. Best bet on Memphis, Utah. Okay. Memphis, Utah game. Definitely interesting one for betting. Could be a high scoring game. Jaren Jackson should be in a good spot, but he is so inconsistent. Had 3 straight great games. Then I expected him to do much better, and then he kind of shit the bed against OKC. But as I said earlier, it's the OKC. So against OKC, I don't think anyone can perform well. They're such a great defense. So yeah, by using any numbers, you won't come to the great looking over. But if you do expected minutes, yeah. Also need to remove the OKC, just unbelievable ruining stuff. So against Port defensive teams without Ja Morant and Ide, he killed this line against Wolves, covered against Wizards with poor shooting, and hooked against Raptors. So I do lean over on Jaren Jackson Jr., but nothing great here. Going down, I think Jalen Wells could be in a great spot here. Great form lately. We can see that last 12 games he did look great, and then last game 12 points against OKC, 5 from 16 shooting. So he only made 1-3. He covered against great defense of OKC. So maybe there is something to Jalen Wells. Matchup, top 3 ways he's scoring, they are bottom of the league. Most points catch and shoot, they are bottom of the league. Most points above the break 3, they are the worst team in the league. Single players covered. So Jalen Wells probably my best bet in this one. For over, a bit inconsistent, I will say. Be careful for that. But this looks like as good as it can. Like play types, maps, shot type analysis, similar players. Like it looks as good as it gets. So think this one should be well. So if you exclude like games where he shot below 33% and up to like 55, and we didn't do any minute stuff, so he's expected to play at least 24, but I think he could play more, 25 at least. And then looking at great catch and shoot teams, excluding Golden State Warriors, as they are great. And then looking at the second most dominant way of scoring is transition, excluding great transition teams. And then we can see that he covered this with this average efficiency, great minutes against teams who are not great, against excluding great catch and shoot teams and excluding great transition defenses. He killing this line. And we can see that game against Utah Jazz head-to-head is also here. They played 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago, and he scored 19 points on average efficiency. So yeah, great spot for Wells in this one. Going back to the chat now. After that question, Caruso points. Caruso played big minutes because it was a cup game. Don't think we can do anything for tonight, especially with everyone questionable. I hear Bobby Portis first quarter. Let's look at this one. First quarter, he played 7 minutes and then 9 minutes last 2 games. Let's look at the Bobby Portis between 7 to 10 minutes this season, covered in all 4 games. But let's look career-wise. Career-wise, yeah, but we need to look at the last season only, without Giannis. So, last season and this season, so he covered this in 7 straight games without Giannis, averaging 6.4 points, plus money. I can see that, definitely can see that. So, interesting look if you like to bet over on first quarters. Josh Okogie, 6.5. I don't know about that one. Against the Clippers, he had 6 attempts in 21 minutes. Now he's playing massive minutes. But Tarison is back. So they are kind of healthy. When they are healthy, that's even without Tarison. He's averaging 22 minutes. So when he's playing between 20 and 28, let's remove everyone and use expected minutes. Yeah, I could see that. Over in 75% of the game, averaging 8 points and already covered against Clippers. They allow spot up transition. That's the way he scores. Now, no Zubats to cover the rim. Yeah, could see that, definitely. For some reason, Udoka loves Okoji. I mean, he's great on defense, so he gets his minutes every game. Moving down, Portis points, rebounds, assists. Already talk about Portis. If Lamelo is rested tonight on back-to-back, who would you like to target most between Bridges, Miller, and Knopel against the Wizards? Let's look at the lines. All three. I mean, honestly, I bet Miller. My first bet of the day was Brandon Miller over 20.5 points. Now that shit is gone. So let's look how Con performed. Last time they played without Miller, but Lamelo was playing. Con scored 20. Let's look. We can lock the filter head to head to just look. So Miller didn't play. Miles scored 22, poor shooting as well, and Com scored 20. So yeah, I do expect Lamelo to be out tonight. So yeah, I don't know. All three look good. All three are in a great matchup. Don't think there is anything like a big difference on the way they score. All three in a great matchup. All three couldn't cover. Probably 2 out of the 3 does cover. So, like, without Lamelo, with Bridges and Miller, Con scored 14 on horrible shooting, 33 and 29. So, Con is the one that I trust the most to be consistent, but yeah. Back to the chat. What? Sorry, guys. Need to catch up on the chat. Some stuff. Fox under. He kind of cooked them last time they played. So I don't know, but he scored 22. But yeah, he won't shoot this well again, I think. So if he said under against Hawks, Wizards, and Knicks, I could see him staying under 19.5. So yeah, not great bet, but decent. I don't like Wemby under. Don't know about the minutes. What filters do you use for rebounds and assists? For rebounds, obviously, first off, for rebounds, set the minutes right, then using rebounds allowed. Something broke, okay. Without Gordon and without Brown. Let's say without Gordon, because there are no games without Brown, because he was never hurt before. So using against for rebounds, probably using rebounds allowed most of the time, or rebound stuff against position. That's for rebounds. I only use those, like rebounding chances to check, like luck. Did he got lucky? Like if someone has 9 assists, but he had 9 potential assists, so I consider that lucky. So I go by expected. If he had 9, I expect him to like have 6 or 5 assists. So that's how I count, like, to rule out variance. But yeah, for rebounds allowed, defense versus position rebounds allowed, combining those two. And for assists, let's find some random guy for assist. Like, let's go to the Scotty Barnes, for example. Assists So looking at his assists, let's look assist allowed, passes made, and defense against dominant shooting zone. First off, assist allowed. Looking at this, don't think there is much correlation for Scotty here, like pretty much the same. Then going to the dominant assist zone, his dominant assist zone is at the rim, so yeah, but no correlation there. And then assist to his position, also nothing there. Like there are players that have huge correlations, and there are players that don't have any correlation. I'll show you on Cooper Flag, for example, his assist, looking at when he plays some normal minutes, always starting with the minutes, guys. Looking at dominant assist zone, he is having most assists to the rim. So when he plays above, like below average rim, averaging 2.4, under in 3 out of 13, and then when we look at the other way around, he's over in 10 out of 8, averaging 5.3. So it's like a big swing, like huge swing, like going from 5.3 assist average against poor rim defensive teams to the 2.4. So he has a great correlation with dominant assist zone. So for those, also looking at passes made, and still no data for the last game, but look, there is some trends usually, but his assists were down, up and down, so nothing consistent here. So the best thing is to look at guys have some consistency on passes made. That's something I would look at. So if you see, okay, this guy has 60, 51, 60, consistently over 60. So I mean, we can kind of exclude the games where he had under 50. So it does changes a bit. So those kind of stuff. So mostly for assist allowed against defensive dominant assist zone, with a position and passes made are something that I use most for assist. But for rebounds, as I said, similar stuff. Going back to the chat. How would you look at first quarter points to determine what will you bet on first quarter points? Use Joker as an example. I don't know if I understood the question. I mean, for the first quarter, like mostly the edge is there when you expect a big blowout, and maybe when like guys have like a sudden shift in first quarter minutes. Like I think Portis is better one for this. Like we can see that he played 4, 5, 4, 4, 4, 5 minutes in the first quarter, and then last 2 games went from 6 to 9. So we can see that when he plays 7 plus, he covers this easily. When he plays less than 6 or like that 4 to 5, 3 to 5 range, he's staying under. So sudden shift in minutes, and maybe like when you expect a blowout and you want the over, like it's a great way to get because no matter the blowout, he will still play the minutes he should play in the first quarter. Memphis had a game last night in OKC and then had to fly Salt Lake City. Is that a factor? Definitely. Like when you guys are on back-to-back, you can expect lower minutes for some guys on second night back-to-back, and you can expect some guys to be out or rested. So it's a tough spot, but sometimes you can kind of go with when teams have tendency to rest. For example, Pelicans, they're expected to rest Herb Jones and Zion, so you can bet some role guys over in that spot, so they get bigger role when these guys get out. For example, Sadiq Bey been crushing it lately, and with chance of Zion being out, that helps him tremendously. Means his minutes will be to the roof, so could be a great spot for Sadiq Bey or any other bench guys. So yeah, back-to-back spot are in big travel are usually something we can use. Toumani Camara under. Yeah, I mean, matchup is against the Orlando. Last time they played, he had 8 points. Horrible shooting though. But even if he made one more three in that game, he will end up at 11 points. So kind of a good spot for bet and under again on Toumani. Expected minutes 27 to 37. Not need to do this. And now matchup, the obviously catch and shoot, horrible spot. If you exclude all the great catch and shoot teams, we can see that Toumani numbers are just going down. So when he's facing teams who are above average in spot up defense, we can see that he covered only 3 games and averaging 12 points, and he needs 14 to cover this. Maybe a bigger correlation with catch and shoot, pretty similar I would say. And then similar stuff against position. There are a bunch of ways you can approach this one. So I think the overall horrible matchup above the break 3, catch and shoot, spot up, transition. So yeah, could see the under for Toumani Camara here. Avdia over question. I think it's a decent spot. Expected minutes 30 plus in this one, even 31 plus, which is interesting. And do without Jrue Holiday because he's out. Grant is questionable. So yeah, in this spot I need to include Sharp. He's averaging 26.7 above this. He already scored, played against the Orlando and scored, he scored 27 against them on poor shooting from the field. So yeah, looks good. And also, all the unders came with poor shooting. So like last 2 games, he shot 33% from the field while he's on the season 46. So if you look at the games when he shot between 40 and 50, he's averaging 25 points. So yeah, I think this could be a good spot. Also, he scores most of his points transition. They are average, pick and roll ball handler, isolation. Similar players killed most of his points in the paint. They are below average in paint. So yeah, kind of great spot for, not great, Magic are obviously 10th best defense, but good spot for Avdia on over. Maxi under 29.5 points. Yeah, that line is gone, I think. Or maybe it's back. Yeah, I think it's a good spot because like against the Nets, they kind of do well against him because they don't allow pull up above the break 3s and they don't allow points to points pick and roll ball handlers. So kind of makes sense to pay at Maxi under. CJ McCall over points, already talk about that one. It's kind of good. Miles Bridges points, rebounds and assists, also talk about that one, but without LaMelo, who we expect to be out, and with normal minutes, he killing this line, but need to include Brandon Miller and Con Knupel also killing it. So the best matchup in the league now. I think he is in a great spot tonight. Everyone is always in a great spot against Hornets. Thoughts on Jalen Johnson points? I mean, 25 is huge. Like obviously, last game he scored 36. Absolutely insane shooting. I do expect Trae Young minutes to go up, so usage could go down. But matchup is obviously absolutely insane. So there is definitely something there for. With Trae Young, he could move off ball a bit. So maybe, just maybe, looking at his threes could be a thing. Last game, 2 from 6 attempts, more than enough to cover. We have minus 115, so could be there. Like even under, this under he was 0 from 4. Here, I do think this is a decent spot for John Johnson. Just before I continue, guys, please make sure to subscribe to this to not miss any new shows coming. Probably next week we'll have Christmas break for a couple of days, and then going back after the next week. So make sure to subscribe. I can see after the show in the data, like we are looking at here, I look at that data from the stream, and I can see that 50% of watchers are not subscribed. So please make sure to subscribe, and also make sure to press the like button, to help us. Like I'm doing this for entire 45 minutes to an hour. Going back to chat, Siakam points, rebounds, assists. Like, what do I think about Siakam points, rebounds, assists? Okay, like, no question about over and under. Maybe I even like it more this way. Siakam with Maturin and Nemhard averaging right there. Matchup. I don't know what to think about Bucks matchup. This kind of average in all the areas, average in all the areas, average in all the areas. So, yeah, I think this is a fair line. Could be 33.5, but I think it's completely fair line. Don't have a read on this one because they are average and everything, which means they probably adjust game to game, and you can't trust Doc Rivers to stick with anything, right? So, yeah, no big opinions on Siakam. Kejonte George. He just killed Memphis with 39 points, but we can't expect anything from that kind of efficiency. 10 for 10 from free throw line, 5 from 9 from 3. Yeah, that's just absolutely insane. But he's been playing really well lately, so yeah. When he gets the minutes, and he's expected to play 30 to 40 minutes. Last 15 games are in 27. They kind of allow ton of to pick around ball handlers and above the break 3, and the most pull-ups single players kind of did well. Yeah, lean over, though I think 24. Maybe rebounds adding to the points, and maybe points and rebounds are better here. 28.5. Maybe not. So overall, I think it's a decent spot against Memphis. Yep. Ton of overs per back-to-back is usually not a good thing. Players need to be like tired and kind of regress shooting-wise in back-to-back games, so definitely need to be careful about that one. Where under? Why under on where? If you take a look, last 3 games, he kind of cooked great teams on defense, like Knicks and Boston, great teams. Obviously, he won't shoot this well from the 3-point line. That's definitely true. Against the Raptors, he played 1 game, 19 minutes only, 6 points. Rebounds in that game, only 19 minutes he covered the rebounds, so that's huge alarms for under rebounds. Last 3 games, he averaging 15 rebounds. If you take a look at the entire season, when he get expected minutes, which is 24 plus, I would say 26 plus, because the way he's playing, and Tyler Hero is out, Jovic is out, Larson is out. Yeah, we can expect big minutes. So in those minutes, he averaging 13 rebounds a game. So huge enough for rebounds under, and for points and rebounds, and assists. Yeah, I don't think sell high makes sense, but the line is 13.5, even though he scored 22 plus in 3 straight. If he shot average threes here, like 2 from 7, he will still end up scoring 19 points. Here, if he shot average, which is 2 from 7, he'll end up scoring 12 points against Boston. And then this game, yeah, don't like the under. I don't know. Somehow I don't like unders today, which is, I would say, unusual, but yeah. Moving on from there, Najee Marshall points. I mean, it looks well in like streak stuff. He transitioned to being a starter. So when he gets those minutes, 25 to 36, I would say, with Flag and Davis and PJ Washington. He's over this line in 6 straight, averaging 16.8. But look at this, 70% from the field, 75% from the field, 56, 67, 75. That's absolutely not sustainable for a guy like Najee Marshall. Looking at last season efficiency, he on the season averaged 49%. This season he's averaging 52, and if you take a look at the last 8 games, he's averaging 67. That's going down. So yeah, I don't think it's a great spot for the over, even though Nuggets defense is definitely struggling. On the season, Nuggets are 17 ranked defense. Last 15 games, we have a ranking, so I can explain when I'm already there, like rankings. So this is entire season average, and looking at the entire season, Denver is ranked 17th in defensive rating. But looking at the last 15 games, we can see that they are ranked 26th, so 5th worst defense. Over the last 15, they also allow more catch and shoot. They also allow more paint points, and yeah, kind of more of everything. Yeah, so the matchup is great, but his efficiency is not sustainable. Did he play against the Nuggets? Yes, he played against Nuggets and scored 9 points in 33 minutes 3 weeks ago. So yeah, we'll be careful with betting on over on Najee Marshall. I think 13.5 is kind of good, fair price for him. So yeah. Moving on, and in the chat, Željko Filip Draško, Trio Fantastico from Balkan. Yeah. Gobert under points or only over on Towns. I can't say much about Gobert. It's probably like just variant stuff. Don't prefer any unders. If they start together, Mitchell and Towns, then I prefer Rudy Gobert under. If they start Towns at the 5, then I think he could go over. So it heavily depends on that. Also depends if Towns, but 26.5, huge line against Rudy Gobert. So he already played them earlier this season. He had only 15 points. I don't know. I know Brunson, Anunoby are out. Shemet, McBride. So it's Towns, Bridges, Hart, Clarkson. Is there any Clarkson line? Let's take a look. Clarkson 16.5. That's very high. In the games without Brunson, he played 2 games without Brunson. 33, 26 minutes. He had huge usage. 21, 20%. So let's look at the games. So first off, his expected minutes are kind of 26, 28. So let's look at the entire career for Clarkson, career-wise, when he's playing 24 to 34 minutes with usage between 18 to 26%. This kind of random, but without, yeah, it's 15.3 and the line is at 15.5. But he's a great pull-up shooter. Not great pull-up shooter with the Knicks as he was earlier seasons. We can see 32% in this year, 37% this year, and now down to 13%. But with Brunson out, he'll need to take much more usage. So I could see Clarkson being the target here rather than Towns. Yeah. Do you have a max number of bets you will take in one game? Or that doesn't really matter? If you really like 5 spots in a game, will you still take all 5 spots or you have a max? Definitely have a max. Maybe I will scale down the units. I don't want to have 5 overs in a game. What if it's a blowout? It's highly correlated. Then I lose all my 5 bets. Maybe not all 5, but a ton. So if I have 3 overs and 2 unders, I'm kind of okay. But I will definitely pick 3 of my favorite spots in most cases. Or I will just bet less on, like if I'm betting, like let's say I bet 1.5 unit as my standard bet, instead of betting all 1.5 units on all 5 bets and having 7.5 bet units on one game, I'll probably scale down to 1 unit and then have 5 units risked, or just pick 3 best and go with it. Are there any rotational players you are monitoring whose lines aren't up yet? Clarkson was one of them, definitely. On the Hornets, looking at what will be the line for maybe for Muasa Diabate, and maybe for like Carlton Carrington. I think the matchup is absolutely amazing, and he's been cooking lately, so maybe for him as well. 9.5. Yeah, I will need to go through entire slate to check on those. But from top of my head, I can't tell you right now. JJJ under 5. Jaren Jackson Jr. under 5.5 rebounds. -1. Under 5.5. Like, he started at the 5 without Ide. So without Ide, he's averaging much more rebounds. And when he gets the minutes, and just kind of not great rebounding team. So if you look at his rebounding numbers against teams who allow rebounds, and he gets the minutes without Ide, he's actually averaging 7 rebounds. So at 5.5. I actually don't. I think the value on this one was at 6.5, and now it's bet down. So don't like it at 5.5. Yeah, he could start at the 5. So then he gets plenty of opportunities, even though he's horrible rebounder. Paolo, points, rebounds, and assists. Banchero, points, rebounds, and assists, 39.5. Huge number, but when he gets the minutes without Sachs and France, he covered this in all 3 games, averaging 44. Kind of great matchup against Jazz, and he only covered in overtime. But he shot poorly last 2 games and still covered. So against Portland, which is a better matchup for him, I definitely can see him going over this line. Great matchup. He already played them earlier this season. He had 40 in that game with Franz Wagner playing. So he covered this with Franz playing. Now without Franz, I like it more. So yep, could see it definitely for Paolo Banchero. Moving on with the chat. Thoughts on Duran, Jalen Duran, Kings. That's a weird spot because they just have a rookie playing at the 5s, a rookie who kind of looks good on defense. So yeah, he got cooked by Şengün, but Klingon, for example, scored a 3 to cover. He scored 2 threes. Duran is not shooting 3s. Adebayo had 9 points. Kelleher 5. So 8.5 on back-to-back where he could play lower minutes. Kind of sharp line. He is expected to play the most 32. So 24 to 32 with Cade, with Tobias, with Duncan Robinson, with Stewart probably. He's more important. He's averaging 17.9s, and then when you remove great defensive teams against the 5, like, I lean over. I actually don't lean over. I think 18.5 in this spot is okay. We don't have much data for Kings with a new starting center. From what I've seen, he looked good. He's a big, he can rebound, so he can protect the rim, I think, fairly. So no opinions here, especially on back-to-back. I don't know how he performs on back-to-back. Kind of all over the place. Yeah. We are coming closer to the end of the stream. If you have any question, make sure to ask. Can you do one prop from each team for all 40 matches? Like, definitely not. Like, I actually went like probably through like 30 bets so far. So I'm not here to share bets. I'm to show you guys how to do your own research and to help you understand how to use the tool. Sound being low could be me on my end, as I'm like moving way too far away from my mic. Sorry for that, guys. Hardaway under. Like you're trying. Some guys just love unders, and I completely understand that. But without Gordon and Brown, we can see that Hardaway is playing more than 22 minutes consistently, averaging 13.3 points, already covered against Dallas with poor shooting. The teams he didn't cover against were kind of great catch and shoot teams. Yeah, I don't know. I think 11.5 is pretty fair in this one. If it was 10.5, we'll prefer over. 19, 11.5, pretty fair. Sorry, guys. Last one, Jabari Smith. Clippers. Yeah, I can see this one. Huge volume last time they played. Though everyone is healthy now, but he's been scoring well recently. Like last 13 games, over in 10 out of 13, 16.8 average, plus 100 on over. Unders came in horrible shooting. So unless he's shooting horrible, he should cover this. Without Zubac, they will probably double Şengün and Durant a lot, KD a lot, so Jabari could have a ton of looks. So nice one. We'll just go to two more and then I'll end the stream. Josh Giddey, question about over assists. 12 on 15 potential last game. Yeah, if you get a good number on this, he could definitely cover. Looking at assists allowed, when he's facing teams who allow a ton of assists, and Hawks with Trae Young definitely allow a ton of assists. He's covered this in 75% of the games, averaging 10 assists a game. Hawks allowed 23 ranked in assists allowed, last 15, 26th, second most against his favorite shooting zone. So I could see this. Definitely a good spot for Josh Giddey here. And the last one, what are the most important tips advice you will give us from how to use PropsMadness? Okay, love this one. So first, when you start, definitely check expected minutes. That can change everything. For a ton of guys, like that should be a starting point. Don't miss on expected minutes. Second one, you need to exclude outliers from shoot. Like this is good on Najee Marshall one. Like okay, we can set expected minutes 25 to 35, but then you need to exclude shooting outliers. So when looking at the games when he's shooting like 30 to 60% from the field, and now suddenly it doesn't look that great. Maybe you do like 40 to 60%, still doesn't look great. So making sure to exclude all the outliers and setting the kind of projecting stuff one step at a time, minutes, usage, field goals, and then looking at the matchup and how similar players perform. Similar players are very important, but these three are kind of the most important. And don't forget to check the injury report as well. Okay, guys, thank you for joining the show. I know it's busy. Christmas in 2 days and holidays are coming. So Merry Christmas to everyone watching. Happy holidays, Happy New Year. And see you next week after the Christmas break. Bye and thank you.